You unlock this door with the key of ancient wisdom. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of reason.
I'm triggered.
A dimension of knowledge.
You're so dumb.
A dimension of memes.
The internet is a meme.
You are moving into a land of both history and modernity, education and entertainment. You have just crossed over into the Hot Take Show. How did you like that intro?
I love that intro.
Thanks. I really wanted to capture the spirit of the Twilight Zone, since that was what we were talking about today. And you'll notice that the picture above the fireplace is replaced. It's been replaced by Rod Serling.
Just put it back up after. Don't mess up our library like that.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to mess with the feng shui too much, but since it's black and white, I figured it was. This is the one time I can get away with it.
Right.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Hot Take Show, produced and presented by the Sons of Antiquity podcast. I am your host, Angel, and I'm joined in this fine, lovely studio by my co-host, Evan.
How's it going?
Today, we are going to cover our favorite episodes from the classic series, The Twilight Zone. There will be plenty of spoilers ahead, so buckle up, and if you don't want us to ruin them, you may just want to look away right now.
Yeah, check out the show notes for the list, so that way you can watch ahead of time and know what we're talking about.
Yes, exactly. Well, let's just get right into it. Evan and I have picked some of our favorite episodes from the series, and we're going to share a synopsis of each one with you and talk a little bit about what made them so great and why they made an impact on us. But before we get to that, I want to go ahead and start this off with a blazing hot take. Are you ready for it? Mm-hmm. The Twilight Zone, even though it is about 60 years old now, is better than most television shows on television today.
I don't really watch TV, but yes, I agree.
So, Evan, tell me about some of your picks.
Okay, we have to start out with one of the most iconic. It's a Good Life. A freaky little boy, with mind powers. He kills anyone who disagrees with him or is, quote, bad. Because he has mind powers, and when he tortures animals and kills people, levels whole cities.
It's like his hobby.
Yeah, because he's sadistic. He realizes he has all the power and he can't be controlled, literally. In fact, he'll, quote, send him to the cornfield, and it leads you to believe, what is the cornfield? Is that worse than death? It's maybe the most iconic and highly acclaimed episode. It's often ranked as the best of all of them.
He was a bad man, so I turned him into a jack-in-the-box. And you mustn't think bad thoughts about me either, or I'll do the same thing to you.
Eye of the Beholder. Scene opens. There's a woman covered in bandages on an operating table, surrounded by doctors who seem very concerned.
And you don't see the doctors' faces. They're hidden.
They're shadowed out, and they don't show their faces. The woman's face is covered in bandages, so you can only speculate what's wrong with her. The plot twist is they take off her bandages, and they all just gasp. They're like, she's not fixed. And then it shows her face, and she's some beautiful blonde woman.
Oh, yeah, and the full soft focus thing.
And she looks in a mirror and just looks horrified when she sees herself. That's the funny thing. And then it shows all the doctors around, and they just look like Frankenstein and like sunken cheeks, sunken eyes.
And I even said at one point, Amy Schumer.
Yeah, so the woman is terrified, but the laws, they say, well, we can't have these ugly people with us.
Ugly people are not allowed.
Yeah, not allowed. They banned the ugly.
I'm ugly and I'm proud.
So she has to go live in a colony with other, quote, ugly people. So there's another man there who would be considered attractive, and he's going off too. And it just kind of, it shows a little TV off to the side that shows like their ugly dictator just screaming that they need uniformity and perfection in everybody.
Wow, how did they know about Orange Man all the way back in the 60s?
He thinks he's cute. He's a disgusting guy. That is a disgusting guy.
And another lesson from the episode is more big picture. If you demand conformity, you might get everybody being wrong or ugly. Let people have a diversity of opinion and everything so that the good will win. It's not just forcing everybody to be bad or ugly. The Obsolete Man.
Now, this is one of your favorites.
Yeah, I like talking about it because it's not as well known. So there's a middle-aged man, and he looks kind of like a nerd. He's standing before this council. it becomes clear that the government kills people who are no longer useful to it or subversive, therefore obsolete. So this man is both a librarian and a Christian. So like two strikes against him, because both of those have been outlawed. Books have been outlawed and religion has been outlawed. The council finds him obsolete. For whatever reason, they give every condemned person the right to choose their method of dying. This man, he thinks about it for a minute and he says, I want to be in my apartment when I die. And he says, I want to be on camera. That's fine. But so he sends a note to the judge later, like, can you come by and talk to me in my last hour? So he comes by. The condemned man tells him that his method of execution is going to be bombing in his apartment. He wants the state to set off a bomb in his apartment so he can just die where he loves. But the thing is, he's talking to this agent, this judge, and he slyly like locks the door on him and throws the key somewhere. And the room is crazy. There's books everywhere. So this agent have no clue where the key is. And there's only an hour left until the bomb goes off. And he's on live TV.
You have this strong symbol of giant authority. And this insignificant librarian that suddenly, in the eyes of God, there is precious little to distinguish us.
It's pretty funny because this man just gets his illegal Bible out and just starts reading for the audience and for the man, and then the man says, if you say you believe in God, I'll let you go. I'll give you the key. And he says, no, I can't do that. And at the last minute, the agent says, in the name of God, let me out. And he said, okay. And he gives him the key. He escapes just in time. And
okay, so the guy does die. The apartment blows up.
Yeah, the apartment blows up, but the agent escapes just in time before the explosion. And the next day, this agent judge shows up to work, and there's a new guy up there on the podium. And now he's in front of the tribunal.
Oh.
And they declare him obsolete for embarrassing the state.
On television.
On live TV, making a coward out of all of them. So, of course, you can see where this is going.
Yeah.
Obsolete, obsolete, obsolete. And he's panicking. He tries to escape, and this mob they run after him, and they just beat him to death.
Oh, jeez.
I have some critiques, though. It doesn't make any sense how they blew up the one apartment without damaging the whole building. Also, why would they give a platform to all these people to, demonize the state and get people thinking? It makes no sense, but it's still a great episode with some great lessons. Time enough at last. So this man, bookworm, hates his wife and job. He just wants to read all the time.
He's just like most of us here at the Sons of Antiquity podcast.
So he's at work. He takes his lunch break a lot and goes down to the bank vault just so he can read in peace and not be bothered by anyone. But on this one day, there's a nuclear bomb that goes off all over his city, and everyone dies besides him because he was in that vault.
Yeah, he's totally safe.
Yeah, he was protected. He notices, oh man, the library is over there, and the walls are falling down, but all the books are good. And I'm just going to read books for the rest of my life. The most ironic part, he stoops down to pick up something. His glasses fall off and they break.
There's time enough at last.
Now it's time for my picks. The Shelter. Average suburbanites hear a dire radio announcement regarding World War III, prompting one man to flee to his homemade bunker. His neighbors turn on him and each other in their effort to break in and use the shelter for themselves. Now, this one has always stuck with me and really hits home for me personally because I would be the guy with the bunker. I feel like if I had the means, I would be that guy.
They had made fun of him, too, for his bunker. They said, you're just up all night doing all this stuff. And now they want to be a part of it,
You're a crazy white nationalist neo-Nazi conspiracy theorist.
Let us in.
Yeah, exactly. 5 minutes later, they want to be let in.
There's one other part you didn't mention, that one of the characters is Puerto Rican or something.
Oh, yeah? Aren't they super racist to him?
Well, but not before the disaster. But while it's going on, they're like, you're not going in, you scum. Like, whites first. That comes out. They never said anything like that before to him.
Exactly.
They thought they were friends, and he's like, okay, I guess you don't like me.
Yeah.
Hispanics.
And then when it turns out, oh, hey, false alarm, and they've already just destroyed the shelter, then they have to go back to being friends. But they can't after that.
That's the other thing. They destroyed the shelter, so now nobody will be safe.
This is Conrad. Remain tuned for an important message. The President of the United States has just announced that the previously unidentified objects have now been definitely ascertained as being satellites.
Got him!
Nightmare at 20,000 feet. A truly iconic episode, though not much of a twist or a deeper meaning. William Shatner stars in this one as a crazy man trying to convince plane passengers that Sasquatch has landed on the wing of the plane. I think that when most people think about the Twilight Zone, they think of that one, a few others, but I think that one's definitely one that comes up. But I don't know why. Here's another hot take. It's not even that good. It's not a good episode. There's not a deeper meaning. There's no real big twist. It's laughable. Who knows why these things become famous and enter our lexicon?
What's going on?
There's a creature on the wing. It was smoking on a plane.
Sir, everyone here is smoking on the plane.
Living doll. There is a dysfunctional family where the girl has a new abusive stepdad. The mom buys her daughter a doll. Talkie Tina is her name. But she gets mean, then threatening to the dad. The dad tries to throw away the doll, then tries to destroy it, but to no avail, it keeps popping up.
And you can't even cut through this doll.
No, it won't be kept down. She's too strong. The doll trips the dad while he goes down the stairs and kills him. Dolls are always creepy. And really, this episode was the original Annabelle. It was Annabelle before there was Annabelle.
My name is Talkie Tina, and I'm beginning to hate you.
To serve man. Huge aliens with really big heads come to Earth, and they give us technology that ends energy shortages, famine, and war. People start going on trips to the alien planet just for fun, like you'd do. A cryptographer deciphers their book, which is titled To Serve Man. Turns out, it's a cookbook. Who wouldn't trust an alien with a head like that guy had? I mean, come on, man. I mean, that guy, he looks so trustworthy. He says, hey, we're going to serve man. Oh, yeah, on a silver platter.
To serve man, it's a cookbook.
Tell us about the honorable mentions.
All right, there's another famous one. I didn't think it was as good, but the monsters are due on Maple Street. Electronics and cars start going crazy after a UFO flies overhead. They start accusing each other of being aliens or collaborating with aliens. Things get violent and people start dying because they're like, you invited this aliens, you're the problem. Because cars will start out of nowhere, lights will flicker on and off.
And the walls will ooze green slime.
Oh no, they always do that.
So it turns out there actually are aliens, but they're just observing on a cliff nearby, just watching it, and they're just making stuff flick on and off, and that's all they did. They're going to take over the Earth, but they just do it one neighborhood at a time, causing division.
Oh, nice.
All they do is mess with the electronics. And I think Rod Serling says, you mess with people's consistency, and they just go crazy. They start killing each other. Will the real Martian please stand up? Or the Slim Shady.
Please stand up. We're gonna have a problem here.
Either one. So a diner is full of people, but somehow they know one of them's an alien. So
how do they know that?
I think they realized it had one more person on it when they got off the bus than when they got on or something. Anyways, they end up all leaving, and then the alien ends up causing the bus to go into a river or something, and all the passengers die.
Oh, man.
And then the guy who ends up being the alien comes back. He says, this is our plan. He's talking to the bartender. He says, this is our plan on Mars to take over the planet. And the guy behind the counter lifts up his cap, and he has a third eye on his forehead. And he's like, we of Venus have been here way longer, and we're way farther along than you've been.
And if you're still alive, I think you'll see how we differ.
Yeah, so those are our favorite episodes. And if you are a fan of this era of television, if you are a fan of horror and suspense, definitely recommend checking out The Twilight Zone. Checking out these episodes, among others. It's an incredible show.
Do you want me to give shorter summaries of my 5? Because I feel like I rambled on way too much.
That's the beauty of editing.